44 days since our last Premier League match, but 23 years in the making, as tonight Forest go to the scumbag that are Manchester United, Varchester United, Manure United, call them what you want, it's all valid. But before we get into all that, there is transfer news to talk to you guys about. Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are, whatever time of day you're watching this. Hope you're having a wonderful bank holiday, and welcome to your latest FFTV news. And guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for the support yesterday on the launch as we start our new journey in this new direction with Forest Fan TV. If you haven't seen it already, please check out the stream from yesterday. And there is so much coming content-wise for Forest as we upgrade our profile on YouTube. And thank you to all your support for making this happen. Before we jump into the transfer news, just a quick reminder, Forest are travelling to the scum, the shithole that is Manchester tonight to take on the second team in that city. Yes, we're not even playing the biggest team there, are we? But if you want to watch that for free tonight, please do click on the link down below and in the pinned comments where you can get your free Amazon Prime even trial. You'll be able to watch it all for free. You can cancel at any time. It doesn't cost you a penny, so please go ahead and click that. But let's start with the transfer news and talk about some of the weird rumors coming out of the City Ground. Harry Toffolo has been linked with a move to Olympiacos. A move that to me doesn't really make too much sense, but maybe it does at the same time. Let's get into it and talk about it. Why? Because he was never fully hell-bent sold on joining Nottingham Forest from Huddersfield in the summer. There was a lot of talk and a lot of speculation that he was holding to ransom the Lewis O'Brien deal and wanted a bit more on his weekly wages, etc. Which, fair play to him. If you know you're holding the power cards, then why not go for it? But it's kind of been forgotten because over the season so far, I think he's been quite decent, to be honest. And I think when he's come onto the pitch, he's performed quite well. I personally don't have him as my number one left back, but I do rate him as a left back. And I do think that maybe with a bit more, development, etc., he could turn into an excellent player. For me, Lodi's still the number one choice. But I think what's triggering this is Omar Richards. And what's interesting, we've had the update on Omar Richards recently from Cooper saying that he's close, but not very close, but not far away, but still quite far away, which basically means secret squirrel. But what I understand and what I feel is happening is that Omar Richards is getting very close to full fitness. With Lodi at number one choice and Lodi starting to put in the performances we know he's capable of, I think maybe Harry Toffolo is having a think about where he's going to stand for the rest of the season. So in some ways, it does make sense if he was to go to Olympiacos on a 6-month loan to get himself game time, to keep himself sharp. We've seen with Jesse Lingard what a player looks like when they haven't played football for over a year, and it takes them a while to develop and get back into their stride, as we discussed on the show last night. But with Harry Toffolo, maybe he's looking at this Lingard example and thinking to himself, I need to keep myself sharp because if Lodi's coming in as the first team choice, and then you've got the likes of Omar Richards, who is a unit, a fast unit, even though he apparently has one leg still at the moment. I mean, we've talked about it before, but freaking hell, man. 5 months to recover from a stress fracture. It defies science. Anyway, so do I see this Toffolo thing happening? I don't think so still somehow. I don't understand why a player who is getting game time, maybe not as regularly as he would want, would give up the Premier League to go and play in the Greek league. No disrespect to Olympiacos, but you are a smaller club than us, in a smaller league than us. You do have nicer food and nicer weather though over there, I'll grant you that. But from a player's perspective, the Premier League is the holy grail. And if you are playing, even if it's inconsistently, it's better than playing, out in the Greek league. So I don't think this is true. I also think it's risky as well because traditionally Forest have been plagued by the curse of the left back when it comes to left back injuries or left back shitness. And we've had our fair share of both of those. So I don't think it would be a risk that would be smart to take unless they are looking to bring someone else in, which I've heard nothing on yet so far. Also, on top of that, why are we so hell-bent on depleting our defensive resources with the likes of Mbasso about to leave on loan, with Bade going? I'm not going to start on that. Not starting on that today. And Steve Cook probably still trying to run himself into December, still jogging his way down from October. We really are starting to deplete our numbers at the back. And with the main talk of strengthening coming in midfield and the odd rumour here and there of a striker, is this telling us that Cooper is actually happy with the defensive squad that we have currently at the club? For me, it's an interesting question and one that needs to answer. But let me know down below, are you happy with Toffolo? Do you think he's played well so far this season? And would you like to see him go out on loan? I just think it doesn't make sense, but I don't want to influence what you write down below. And I guess just to confirm what I just said on the likes of Bade, he will be leaving Forest in the next couple of days once the transfer window opens, but expect to see the others that I mentioned go as well. And really, I just want to touch on this whole Olympiacos Forest link. I don't feel I like it that much in terms of the way that players are washed in and out from our club to theirs, and sometimes back when we were in the Championship, vice versa. It's kind of, for me, says, here's someone we bought. Oh, we thought they were shit. Let's send them over to Olympiacos for a bit. See if they can train them into being a better player. And then we'll see where they are when they come back. Here's another player. He was average. Maybe could be good. Let's chuck him over there. Here's potentially a good player in Bowler, for example. Let's chuck him over to Olympiacos when we could have used him in the Premier League or in a League Cup run or something. And let's see how he performs. It's just weird. It's just weird. I don't like some of the players that are gone. I think Bowler should have stayed at Forest. I think he's a cracking little player. But the rest of these ones where they've become quote unquote failed experiments at Forest and are just shipped out to Olympiacos, it's really just moving the money from one book to the other. But let me know how you feel about it. I feel it's a weird kind of an arrangement. Maybe if we paid Real Madrid, that would be interesting. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on that. Look, we've already done our build-up and preview to the Manchester United game, but I'm just too hyped up and too excited about this game tonight to not say anything about it. Firstly, let's start by congratulating Liverpool, who signed Codi Gakpo. The one that Bellend Goldbridge was going on about was a certainty going to Manchester United at an inflated price of about 50 to 60 million. Well, Liverpool came in, knocked on the door at PSV. They answered and they just handed him over for 37 million. It is hilarious how badly Man U get screwed in the transfer market and how stupid they are when it comes to transfer fees on absolute crappers. And I'm not saying Gakpo is a crapper. Gakpo, remember, was linked to Nottingham Forest in the summer for 25 to 30 million. Even after the World Cup, and he played well in the World Cup and scored a few goals, he's only gone for something like 7 million more than was quoted in the summer. Why we didn't pick him up in the summer is beyond me. I know a lot of you were huge Gakpo fans and really wanted him at the club. The rumours were true in the summer, but they never developed that far down the road. But now we will be seeing him in the Premier League, but not in the United red, not in the Forest red, unfortunately, but in the Liverpool red, which is hilarious. Man U fans are crying about this. And the reason I'm talking about Man U transfers, you'll see it links in here, is they are extremely upset again by the Glazers. They blame the Glazers for their incompetency to get Gakpo through. They blame them so much that there's going to be protests tonight at Old Trafford ahead of the Nottingham Forest match, which for me does nothing but help Forest. That mood of their fan base, those plastic fans who only turn up when they want to moan, if we can then push the first 15 or 20 minutes in that dead-ass stadium. If it manages to stay intact for the full game, of course, that's priority one. But can you imagine how the atmosphere is going to turn on the players, on the crowd? It's going to be really, really like a tense atmosphere for them. They'll feel it, and it's happened many times before. Every time Man U have had some dumbass protest outside of their stadium, either the fans have been too stupid and taken it too far, like they did against Liverpool a couple of years ago and got the game cancelled, or it's reflected onto the pitch and it has caused animosity, tenseness across the players playing on the pitch. So let's see how that develops tonight. But this is all good news for Nottingham Forest ahead of the game. And when we're talking about the actual game, the real question is, should we be playing low block football against Manchester United at Old Trafford, or should we have some balls and play a bit expansive? I've been thinking about this one all morning, and I think it's an interesting debate. And as always, I welcome your comments on this down below to let me know what you think. I see the pluses for both. I hate low block football. Don't get it, it's one of the most bitter forms of football I can bring myself to watch. The only reason I can watch it when it's Forest is because it is Forest. However, when you analyze Manchester United and how shittily they play, they can't handle playing against low block football. Their game is actually changed from what it used to be again under the red-nosed reindeer of Alex Ferguson to being more counter attacking football. So what they like to do is draw teams out to create some space for the one thing they do actually have is pace, and let those pacey players of theirs get in behind. When they come up against teams who low block, they really struggle to string good attacking moves together. And what you see with the likes of Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, etc., is they have the ability to dissect those teams, create spaces, and create opportunities. Manchester United don't know how to do that, and they struggle very heavily to do that. So low blocking football could work in some sense in terms of stopping them, and you know their plan A gets chucked out the window, and they have no real plan B. However, if you look at the way Brentford beat them, they beat them by suckering them up the pitch and then playing the long balls in over the top for their pacey attack to get in behind Manchester United. Now, the likelihood is slab-faced Maguire and the shitter Lindelof will be playing tonight. If not, Casemiro will be at the back. But either way, they're not blessed with pace currently because their World Cup duo are still out celebrating, or lost in the case of Martinez. So we have pace up front and we have it in abundance. So I think we're going to see a bit of long ball football from Forest tonight. And I guess maybe I won't be so opposed to it. I think it could work because Steve Cooper, I'm sure, has studied the Brentford match, studied how Brighton played against them, etc. So it could be interesting to see what approach we take tonight. But I don't know what the right approach is. And I wonder what you guys think about it. Should we try and play attacking? Should we sit back a bit and soak it up and hit them on the counter attack? It's all going to depend heavily on what happens in the first 15 to 20 minutes. If we're still at 0-0, 15, 20 minutes in, the crowd will start to turn a bit and we should be able to hopefully expose some opportunities there. Let me know what you think down below. Check your clocks, get your diaries out. 7:15 tonight. We get back underway with the Premier League and the scum that is Manchester United. We will have the watch along for you. I can't wait for this one. We'll bring in some guests as well. We've figured out all our technical issues, so hopefully everything should be nice and smooth for tonight. Listen, members, tonight, all of you watching on the virtual pitch, of course you get the enjoyment of that. But if you're a member on the channel, you'll be able to see the goals as they go in live. I'll explain how on tonight's watch along. I can't wait for this one, guys. I'm still predicting a Forest win. We're going to beat the scum. For those of you who are worried about tonight, please remember that Manchester United are not a force in football anymore. They're wannabes, they're has-beens, they're overinflated egos, and they're plastic as hell. We'll see you tonight, 7:15, 7:30, around there for the watch along. Before you leave, if you've enjoyed the content and would like to support the new journey, please do hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Become a member if you want to see some of the goals tonight live. and we'll catch you on the watch along. Come on, you Reds.